Two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, and this special Duke CT Lounge with my co-host at this time, LV. How you doing, LV?
Man, bro, chilling, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. Crazy
Oh,
week this week.
oh goodness, yes, it is one of the biggest gets. And last time we talked was about the pretty much the death knell of Ring of Honor, but now it looks like Ring of Honor is all elite.
Right, man. I mean, like it's kind of crazy because we was talking about this, I believe in October. I think the week of this whole thing with Ring of Honor possibly being gone. And I remember like just one of the last things I said, I was like, look, man, like if there's somehow, some way Tony Khan can get those tapes and can somehow revitalize Ring of Honor, that's pretty much all I wanted. And a few months later, we here.
Oh yes, and I am so happy about that because um, I just I was like, what, man, what are you? I mean, imagine WWE having this. Imagine what they would do. I mean, they have evolved, and all that stuff would evolve, and how it was, one of the most, it was the first real like online like indie stuff, and they did stuff NXT and everything, and now it's gone. It's way down in the depths of the WWE Network / Peacock and everything else. It's down in the basement, and that would have been the way Ring of Honor would have been. I mean, if it went there, that's pretty much, that would have been its fate. But now I think it has a better shot to be more well known, and since pretty much the deal is done, and see if I can get the stuff here. It's like I was like, I was just relieved because that means it will have a be on a platform that all of its history will be represented, and also you get like a new a way, pretty much a better, honestly, a better system and such for younger talent that AEW has that can't be featured other than like AEW Dark and all that type of stuff. Ring of Honor has name value. Ring of Honor has that type of prestige, and with its like, where it's like at this point being pretty much a feeder system, which to be fair, that's always, it's been that way since probably since like 2005 for like with WE and Impact or whatever. It just will continue to be in that situation, but just for AEW, because I think it's actually a very positive thing.
Right. So that pretty much looks like it is the plan for now, according to Cassidy Haynes. That pretty much internally is going to be a developmental system. Now, with all that being said, the only I pretty much have a lot of questions, but the first question I got is, and I was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio when they were speaking about this, and I do think Dave Meltzer brought up an interesting point in that if their idea is to have Ring of Honor still go on, particularly as a developmental territory, then will there be a decision to actually change the name of Ring of Honor? Because what Dave was saying was that with NXT is not really a profitable thing. And one of the reasons why is because WWE is not in the marquee, even though NXT is under the WWE banner. And what Dave was saying was that with Ring of Honor, especially how things has been for the last few years, with Ring of Honor, they lost a lot of steam. Now, sure, they have a lot of prestige, but it's all about the now. And what Dave was suggesting was like maybe possibly you need to put somewhere that says AEW in there. So is it possible they may change the name Ring of Honor, but still have the lineage of a Ring of Honor? Like say like do like a Elite of Honor or something like that. So
Oh yeah, it is. And when I look at all the stuff, because a lot of people, some people write in such about Ring of Honor, and like they'll say, "Oh, AEW truly killed Ring of Honor." I'm like, no, it didn't. Ring of Honor, the way it was in the position of Ring of Honor and how it was The reason why it was in this position because of Sinclair. They never really treated it with the respect and the honor it deserved. I mean, it never really got that type of real good TV deal. They were on syndication, and last I checked, they pretty much still are. So I'm like, they never had a stronger TV deal, which I know people, you can stream stuff. No, you need a TV deal to really get the masses to watch and everything. You need something with backing. That's probably the reason why the NWA is pretty much where it is right now. Is that the NWA pretty much is that in that situation of like, they don't really have that type of like following or anything else like that. They they don't have again backing of major companies with TNT and Time Warner Media and everything. AEW has that not only just for the worldwide like recognition of watching like TNT and everything. They have pretty much a way of a real again like financial and production values, that sort of thing.
Right, man. So but yeah, it's pretty much like you said, like with unfortunately with pro wrestling, it's like one of the many things that a pro wrestling promotion needs, and that is television. Now, is there going to be somewhere down the line in the next probably like 30, 40 years, they may not need television? Probably not, but still, today in 2022, like if you really, really want to make it to the next level, you have to have some type of television, just something. So it's like, and it's like you said with the NWA, it's pretty much where they are right now. Like they was getting a little bit of a buzz at the beginning, but then there's always a honeymoon phase, and look what they're at now. So
yeah, and that's when you look at these issues of Ring of Honor and just seeing how it was like this. I mean, I honestly think we look to me when I really thought the way Ring of Honor could have been, it ties into what the Elite and everything else. It does tie into that Bullet Club and everything. They had this hot angle. They had something really interesting, and for whatever reason, it still had that. Well, we're still going to be in this syndication thing. We're still not going to get a good TV deal. We're not really going to get the stuff there, and that is why no one really, that's why they're like, you're not taken seriously. TNA, for all of its, blunders and everything else, realized they needed to have at least somewhat of a TV deal to actually be somewhat relevant. Even though they fumbled the bag so many times that it just became a meme at that point, but at least they're on television. At least they have that type of, they have like, okay, you can find them somewhere on like cable or whatever. You can find them there. But with Ring of Honor, they never had that. You had stuff like it's 11 p.m. or it's at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Or, it's like it's 6 o'clock or something in, somewhere else. It's never been consistent. It's not been a consistent program. And honestly, until Ring of Honor, hopefully with this, they actually start getting some consistent program, a TV deal or something. I don't know, maybe put it on True TV. Something like that, for the true wrestling fan or whatever. Appears Ring of Honor, True Wrestling on True TV. There, that's for free if y'all want it. If anyone from Warner Media going there, you can put that on there. Whatever. But yeah, I think if Ring of Honor had that consistent TV deal and then that's the most important thing, consistency. They'd probably be in a better position where they are right now. I think that's what they wouldn't be, getting a sell on anything else.
Now with all that though, if Tony Khan's idea is to have Ring of Honor as a developmental territory, do they have to be on television? Because again, if you look at how NXT was, and I remember when the announcement was that NXT was going to be on TV, I was one of the first people to say this is not going to be a good idea because they are going to completely falter off on what exactly they're supposed to be. Now, Now, once they got the TV deal, even before that, they was pretty much at that point where they was basically just faltering off on what they were supposed to do. But now that they were on TV, I was like, this is not going to be a good look. So to me, if their idea is to have Ring of Honor as a developmental territory, they may not need to have television. They need to probably just stay online, like, and actually develop people. Now, if it comes to a point where somebody, from True TV or whoever else offers it to them, that that may be something that they may need to take. Just, hey, like, it's more money for us. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna do all
Oh
this.
yeah, that's what it is. And when that was going to happen, I love this like story and such. Is that it was supposedly around they paid around a 40 million supposedly. Pretty much, and the reason why that is because of streaming, and that right there, the tape library, which is to me the most important thing they got is now they have a like when they can like they shop this stuff around AEW, they are probably gonna be in a bigger position. So I think I wouldn't be surprised that HBO Max deal, which a lot of people thought that was going to be the case, which would have the same thing with what W has with Peacock. I will not be surprised a year or maybe sometime later down the year that will happen. HBO Max will probably make that big deal, but it'll probably be a lot more money because hey, you have this huge library now with Ring of Honor. And in the past couple of years, AEW does have, Dark, Elevation, and the pay-per-views and the TV shows. They can just say, okay, we have this like 3 years, we have this stuff here too. So you can have a package deal, but also bump up the cost of that as well, since these streaming services need content and everything, you know, that sort of thing. So I think that's what's going to be the more interesting thing about the whole Ring of Honor tape library, which I think is going to be a good thing for AEW. It's going to be put the entire Ring of Honor.
Oh, you there? I'm not sure if Duke CT fell off the ether or if I fell off the ether. I think Duke CT fell off the ether. But like as we wait until Duke CT comes back, to anybody out there watching, what up? But yeah, like it's Duke CT going. As far as the HBO Max deal goes, like, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how all that's going to play out. And if you want to add in with the tape library Ring of Honor, like, for me, with not just the tape library, I'm more looking at how the those documentaries going to be. Now, those Ring of Honor documentaries, I am very looking forward to seeing those. And they got all that footage. And I was seeing certain people on Twitter was saying that, oh, like, how's the Ring of Honor documentary or the Ring of Honor footage, how's that valuable? And I'm just like, yo, dude, do y'all not understand who was in Ring of Honor and who made a name for themselves in Ring of Honor? Like, the people that you guys gush over now, like the Punks, the Danielsons, it's pretty much a who's who. Samoa Joe, it's a who's who. Just about anybody that you have seen now in WWE, AEW, or Impact, they have arrived in Ring of Honor, and the majority of them have made their name in Ring of Honor. So it's like,
I'm sorry, my computer went off crazy. I'm sorry,
you good?
man.
No, you good?
No,
It
hopefully
happens.
it was no. But anyway, but back here, man. Like I said, I'm happy for the one thing. I'm happy is they're going to be in content, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years. The big things the Ring of Honor can do and everything else, because I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see what HBO Max is in, and that type of folder and everything else. So hopefully, that's my hope, and that's going to be something really cool. I can't wait to see that.
Right. Now, there is kind of a dilemma though, as well, though, because we talk about HBO Max, but with Tony Khan, like he also bought the Honor Club streaming service. So I'm kind of wondering, do you keep Honor Club, or do you like just get away with that, or do you use that for something else?
Yeah, the Honor Club is still there, and see the live streaming, all this other stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know about all that because again, it has the vault, you have the television stuff, the entire television archive, and just all these other things. So I don't know what are you going to do with the Honor Club? Are they going to fold it in? Are they going to fold it in with this stuff? Because I wouldn't be surprised if that thing shuts down. You know.
Right. Like, if I could take an early prediction, I'm going to assume they may use Honor Club as I guess you would say as a resume of sorts, where they would showcase all of the Ring of Honor footage and start showcasing all of the AEW footage and start doing some type of subscription thing there first. And then I guess you would say like, like probably if they do like a premium service for about a year or two, then they probably would take that to HBO Max and say like, hey, look, here's our numbers. There's a demand for this, but we want to take it to the next level. Probably. I mean, I don't know. Probably.
Hmm. That's going to be something interesting to get into because again, I I do I was like very worried about Ring of Honor before this thing came down because again, we didn't know what was going to happen pre this whole buyout because it was still up in the air. Some people say, see, it's gonna be fine. They're gonna do Supercar of Honor, and they still like, oh wait, they're still gonna do that whole, people are just like on the paid by appearance instead of actually contracts, and that's not. I mean, that's not going to be good because, well, guess what's going to happen if you have paid deal hey, we're just going to have this pay. You're not going to pay by appearance. It's not like they're not going to show up on Raw or anything else. Someone's actually popular. Oh, look, they actually showed up on Raw. He's our champion, and he's getting jobbed out by Dolph Ziggler. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. But yeah, that's one of the things now that with this new deal with Ring of Honor. I don't know if they're going to do that, but this does open things up because there's going to be not just wrestlers. Because I think Jonathan Grisham's going to be he's going there. He already been backstage at AEW a lot, and he says he wants to pretty much fight Punk and Danielson, which that's pretty much been his whole. I need to fight two wrestlers for this championship, which is like, oh yeah, he wants to fight those two. But I don't know what else the other people are gonna do because again, I mean, Shane Taylor he's been posting all this stuff for Impact, WE, and now and AEW, sitting there just I don't know what they're gonna be doing with those guys. I don't know because again, there's a lot of stuff that with Ring of Honor, if this is going to be a thing, what are you going to do? Are they going to bring up the 6-man titles? Are they going to call them the AEW 6-man titles now? So for trios and everything. Are they going to get into the nuts and bolts? I don't know what's going to what are they going to do going forward because that's going to be something going to be look forward to because the next couple months when all this stuff starts to die down, that's going to be the real test and everything. That's going to be the real interesting test to see where the this purchase is going to go to.
Right. And I think probably the first test is going to be when the Super of Honor show comes. And what's going to be interesting about that is that will there still be a Ring of Honor show on Sinclair? Now, with that Facebook Live show that I saw, they said they was going to do television tapings the weekend after Supercard of Honor. Now, according to reports, when they made that announcement, they had no idea about this sale. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're still going to do those tapings at the ECW arena. Now, if it turns out if they do, then yeah, like that's going to be very interesting to see how exactly they're going to structure all this. Because for me, if they do those television tapings, that's really going to be the first official show under the Tony Khan regime to me. So yeah, like that part's going to be interesting, and how they're going to do it. I mean, are they going to feature a lot of AEW talent that's not utilized enough on television and use them a lot, or are they going to still use a lot of these a lot of these unsigned indie workers like an Alex Zane or Ninja Mac or guys like that? You know, it's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, and maybe they'll finally pull the trigger on the Briscoes and FTR feud finally. But that's gonna be things down, later on. And also, there's going to be, and I look at the Ring of Honor, other people around there. To me, I'm hoping that Aaron Riccaboni actually gets his shot to do some commentating up in the main stuff because Jr. I think he's pretty much done in April and such. So I think that's his latest contract thing. He's done. I think he fades away into the sunset. I think you can bring some, maybe have Tony and Excalibur, but also I think Aaron Riccaboni and Excalibur would be pretty good. I think he could do that for a 2-man booth, and have Tony Schiavone be backstage. I think you can have him there. I think that would actually be a really good fit, going forward and such, because that's what I think it is. I think if you do that, I think the people will actually have a lot more positive stuff. Because I do love Jr., but sometimes, man, he's he old, man. You're like, man, I mean, dude, just he needs. I mean, he like, we love you. Maybe you could come back once in a while, but I think his great commentary days are done.
Right. If I could take a guess, they may have Ian Riccaboni still be in the Ring of Honor slot. Now, if it turns out if they do bring him up, I much rather have just one lead commentator and one color guy instead of just, the whole, like it's just that with the whole 3-man booth thing, I've always hated that. I just really saw no use of it. I mean, like this goes all the way back to WCW Nitro. I just never understood the point of a 3-man booth. I mean, just keep it simple, stupid. One play by play guy, one color guy, preferably a heel commentator and a face commentator. Or obviously you can get away with two faces on commentary, but just keep it simple. But if they want to bring Ian up, I mean, like I really don't think he can really overtake Excalibur, because Excalibur, to many people that may criticize him on things, one thing about Excalibur, he knows every move. He knows how every move goes. He knows the history of a lot of these guys just right off the cuff. And just a guy with Ian Riccaboni, I just don't think it would fit. For me personally. Now, if you want to put Ian Riccaboni on probably like Dark or something like that, I mean, sure, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think I think that'd be nice. Personally, I would say put Eddie Kingston there. When he wants to retire, I think he'd be really good as that competition. He's shown the elevation, he's good, but if that's like in a controlled environment, but if he put I mean, I think maybe a couple years down the line, I think he'd be really good as that, don't give a fuck type of commentator. That would be good for the main, maybe Excalibur or so like that, play off of those two. Also, I think, like I said, I think personally, for Aaron Riccaboni and Excalibur, those two would be actually really good. And Tony Schiavone in the backstage role. I think that would probably be the best way to handle that going forward. And also, looking at all this stuff that's going down, saying that what Ring of Honor and having all those talents being there, I have to, bring up one YouTuber, Brian Zane, who basically been working with Ring of Honor. So technically, I think he's pretty much all elite at this point, which is pretty cool. So from someone going from like YouTube and such, and now going all the way, now he's basically technically, part of one of the biggest wrestling companies in North America right now. Probably, I was WWE, and since doesn't want to do anything with wrestling, I would just say that AEW is pretty much is the biggest wrestling company, pro wrestling company in United States right now. Then
Right. Now as far as like the Brian Zanes and guys like that, is it fair for us to say that they're actually all elite at this point because Ring of Honor or Sinclair did release everybody from their contracts. I think the last contract is up probably like March 31st, whoever was signed up to that. So as far as now, like I don't think nobody is really signed to all elite wrestling from Ring of Honor unless we was told otherwise, like the Brody Kings and guys like that, you know. But that's as far as I know. As far as I know, a lot of these Ring of Honor guys and gals, you know, they're still free agents. And, you know, like I guess they're just waiting on that opportunity whenever they're, you know, whenever they get booked to do Ring of Honor. And, you know, hopefully that'd be a way for them to impress Tony Khan enough to actually sign them to an actual deal. Now, now they now they may be still down in Ring of Honor because, like I said, I think Ring of Honor is basically going to be the NXT 1.5 that everybody misses. So you're going to see a lot of guys coming in there that are just going to be developed, and they're going to pretty much going to get a name from themselves, and it's just going to be the same type of thing. You know, like eventually some of these guys will get called up to the main roster. There may be times where they may do trade offs. You know, like they may have like say like uh say like who's a upper mid Carter in AEW.
that needs maybe an Orange Cassidy or maybe say Pac after this whole
Well,
Darby Death
yeah. Like
Triangle.
say like us, yeah, like say like with this Death Triangle House of Black stuff, and let's just say the House of Black wins the feud. You know, like there's nothing for Pac to do right now on the main roster, but for him to still get work and for him to still be seen, then just have him down the Ring of Honor for a few months. Then once you know they're ready to have him do another program on the main roster, then bring him back up. And meanwhile, you can probably have Pac in Ring of Honor, and you trade that off for somebody, you know, like a Shane Taylor or like a Jonathan Gresham, and they go up to the main roster for a little bit, and then you trade off somebody else. You know, but you can do something like that.
Oh yeah, and I think you can do this throughout the trading up and down, and kind of hilarious to me that Ring of Honor. Oh my gosh, people the NXT is like I said earlier, Ring of Honor pretty much was the NXT feeder system, and I'm like, and it goes right back to this this weird narrative that's now being played off. I'm like, I remember when NXT pretty much majority of Ring of Honor ROH stars. They took the Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. They took like I said, Nakamura, New Japan. They basically rated them. They rated Ring of Honor of their stars and such, and you know, and I hate this narrative of saying, oh, well, Ring of Honor came in and Ring of Honor was great, and then AEW showed up. I'm like, no, who was the one who took all those stars? It was Papa Hunter and his NXT crew just took in and just took all the indie talent and they all ran. Took War Machine. They took, like I said, War Machine. Sami Zayn, aka El Generico. They took actually Kevin Owens, like I said, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and the list goes on and on. I feel like I'm like, man, am I taking crazy pills? Because I feel like no one just wants to talk about history anymore. It's like they just seem to forget about that. I'm like, what's going on? Why do people seem to have this like weird amnesia? And because they just seem like, oh well, man, like they just forget the NXT in this most high up years was basically them rating indie talent, and then now it's just like they're the plucky they're doing NXT 2.0. They're the underdogs now again after AEW just smacked them around the entire time. I'm just like, does people just have forget this short memories, or are they just basically simping? I don't know.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be just a combination of both, because when I started hearing that, like way back then when Ring of Honor was about to go under, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's because of AEW," and I'm like, "Bro, like, no, it's not." I mean, like, have you not looked back at the history? And it's like you said, it's not just with NXT, but with Ring of Honor themselves, because again, with Sinclair, they're not they're not broke, but they are fucking cheap. And it's like I said, like they had that opportunity in 2018, especially when they were red hot with the elite, and they didn't really take advantage of it like they should have. And then what happened? All of them left. Now, again, with the Young Bucks and Adam Page and those guys, they had every reason. They had every single reason to stick with Ring of Honor. They had every reason to, but they didn't want to do it. And Tony Khan, matched their price. So it's like it was like, okay, we got to get out of here. So
Yeah,
can't
and
blame AEW.
yeah, no, the AEW was having a better product at the time, and not only that, NXT for all of its big stuff and everything else, it was still part of WWE, and they moved up. And guess how many of those NXT people that had truly long-lasting, successful runs? The only person you can say of that is pretty much the Four Horsewomen, the Shield, and Kevin Owens, but Sami Zayn to a lesser extent. Everyone else gone, pushed to irrelevancy, or just straight up just forgotten. I mean, name anyone else who's been successful when they came out NXT. I named them: Shield, Kevin Owens, the Four Horsewomen, and Sami Zayn.
Right. Right. I mean, like the list is not long. And like how long has NXT 1.5 has been? Like I'm not talking about the NXT 1.0 where it was just a bunch of game shows. Then they transitioned into being FCW name NXT. I'm talking about the NXT 1.5 that everybody loved. You got to look at a lot of people that came in. And you got to look at it now, and the list ain't long. It's not long at all.
Yeah, and then when you look at oh, okay, you could say Bray Wyatt, but then again, they fumbled the bag on him and the rest of his crew to the point that they just more known for his failures than anything else. I mean, remember, it was it was like 2 or 3 years ago. If I can, let me just, because remember, this actually, man, this was right here. Just, put this lovable picture. Let's open this little tab and just show this to the people here. All right, we just because remember, if you remember this little lovable moment when old Seth had to carry every little goddamn thing on the Fiend and smashed him down, and it ended in the disqualification. Oh, I'm sorry, referee stoppage in Hell in a Cell with this weird Sin Cara red lighting the entire time. No one saw anything because it was just just a terrible mood and production wise. And pretty much, I was like, yeah, that's it. The Fiend is pretty much done for. And I laughed at this when I first saw it. I completely laughed. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. This is, and you wonder why people are just shifted to AEW and they shifted to other places because, again, WE, no one cares. It just, you put yourself in like, well, no one, it doesn't matter. WE is a place where nothing matters. NXT tried to make things matter, build things up. Even NXT UK was like that for a time. But when the main card and the main roster is just when you have this goofy stuff here, the whole Fiend stuff was just going goofy to the point that it just really just, pretty much, I probably the main reason why Bray's like, I'm done with this wrestling bullshit. He's like, he was done after all that type of stuff. He just left. He's gone to Hollywood and he's probably writing some stuff in horror. Probably gonna make more money in that stuff. But that's again with WE. They had something with they have greatness, and more often than not, they fumble the bag. And they're like, I'm just sick and tired of these people who come in there saying, "Oh man, look, they gave Finn Balor the U.S. Championship. They gave Ricochet the Intercontinental title." I'm like, shut up. That stuff doesn't matter, because more often than not, they are just going to be used and then forgotten. And that's what it is. Majority of the time is WWE in the main roster. You are only there as you are booked, just like what Vince McMahon wants. And if if it makes you look goofy and it's completely terrible, guess what? You're the one punished, not the people in creative, aka Vince McMahon. So, that's what I feel like, man. It's just like everyone has these like short memories and these like man, they're trying to be all stand up for WWE and everything else. And I'm like, this whole including this Ring of Honor stuff. I'm like, do you know anything about history? Do you know anything studying things and do all this type of stuff? But no one cares. They just sit there and just like, they have a narrative, say, hey, well, I don't want to think. Here's the narrative and everything, and I'll push that and everything else, and who cares?
Right. Yeah, man. It's just a bunch of goofballs, like who clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. They're just lost or just trying to impress somebody, or worse yet, they're going mouth first on Vince McMahon and his company. It's like I said, Vince McMahon, he's the greatest pimp of all time. Like shit. I mean, just crazy, but hey, that's the time that we're in still to this day, 20 years later.
Oh yeah, it is. And by the way, I saw the interview with Pat McAfee, and there was some interesting gems dropped, but not really stuff like I'm like it was not really a big like breakdown interview. Like if you want to see some real hard Vince McMahon interviews, go watch his Real Stort stuff, man. That's when you have reporters going hard on Vince. That's what it is. Also, Bob Costas. Whenever Bob Costas interviews Vince, man, that's always actually pretty good stuff too. I'm like, Pat McAfee, he's fine, but he ain't no Bob Costas. All right, he's not Bob Costas, and that's why I look about this. And getting back to what Ring of Honor and everything, it's going back to all that and try to tie this all in. Is that, like I said, people are just looking at what they want to see with Ring of Honor, seeing that it was a failure again with AEW. They want to say they really want to cast AEW as the villain here, but the real villains here of Ring of Honor, where it was down bad, was because of Sinclair not really putting enough money in production and such like that, not really giving it a real shot, a true shot. And also it was old WWE and Papa Hunter stealing talent and everything. That's what the main issues with Ring of Honor's and its fall, and that's how it is where it is right now. It's because of those two things. I mean, there's all other booking or whatever. You can talk about Bully Ray and everything else. A company can survive bad booking. Insert WE and WCW many years and such. But it's just you need to have backing by the corporations and everything. You need that corporate, but televisions and the producers behind the scenes and everything else. That's what you need. And Sinclair never really supported them. A and B, Triple H and like I said, in NXT, they just came in and just like mine, and take this here, take that there, take this thing, and just take all the stuff there. I mean, how many times Ring of Honor had to basically have a championship drop its belt because of because they went to NXT? How many times? You got Seth Rollins, Kyle O'Reilly, you got like you said, Adam Cole. All this stuff happened.
Right. And just to give an example, or soon to be example, God willing, but we don't. But God willing, though, but we haven't seen it yet. But if y'all see how Anthem treats Impact, like they pretty much just treat them for content. That's it. They don't really push through. And like if you look at it now, they're supposed to have a show tonight on Impact Plus, and nobody doesn't know about it. And I can see why, because the main event's going to be Moose against Heath Slater for the belt. But
hey, man, the man has kids,
shit.
Oh well, but yeah, it's going to be. I don't even care. I don't care about that. I'm like, that should be sacrifice. Should be something like okay, and they have Jay White versus Alex Shelley. Heck, put the belt on Alex Shelley. That match would actually been fun. Moose's title reign has become. He has been the most irrelevant world champion. Honestly, when's the last time you have a world champion that feels irrelevant to the entire show? When's the last time you felt that? To me, the last time I felt that was like CM Punk's first time being the world heavyweight champion back in what, 2007, 8? Yeah.
Like, and what's crazy was I told people about that. I told people about Moose winning the belt was dumb, especially the way that he won it. And I told everybody that Moose won it like what, about 3-4 years late. And now y'all have him the champion. Like, is anybody supposed to care? Everybody's like, oh my God, no, people gonna care. This is heel heat. This is heel heat. Man, don't nobody give a fuck about Moose.
No one cares. He's the most irrelevant champion that company has had in a long. And let me tell you, this company had Eli Drake as its champion. yeah, I went there, but you know what? If Impact right now, if they just said, you know what, we need to do something, a shakeup. They need a shakeup because right now the only thing that people care about is the Honor No More faction. Which, by the way, I don't know how that's going to deal with that stuff storyline. Is that going to continue? And Bullet Club versus Eric Young's faction. Those are the two things that people care about Impact right now. Its world champion is not only, I honestly think it's not. He's not the most important championship. The Impact Knockouts title was recently featured in the Royal Rumble, so that has a lot more, prestige at that point, a little high up there. The digital media champion is held by Matt Cardona, who really revolutionized himself after basically being kicked out of WWE, being the GCW champion. Should have kept that belt on longer, personally. And then being the NWA world champion, and now being the digital media champion as well. That belt is going to be he's getting a lot more love and build up for that. And I mean, honestly, the only belts that I feel like that's not as important as the tag team titles, which has been on the Good Brothers, mildewing on the Good Brothers waist and such, because they've been there for so long. So I'm just like, where's the in fact, I would say the X Division Championship is worth more nowadays and more interesting than the Impact World Championship, and that shouldn't be, and that should not be the case.
Right.
The World Championship should be at least one of your top belts and everything. And if I'm like, man, it feels like the Impact Championship feels like I said, not only irrelevant, but I feel like anyone who holds that belt, I feel like it's like holding the mid cards a WWE belt. Like it's just there to like, okay, you're impressive. Here you go. Here's your belt. Who cares? No, it's like no one cares after you hold that Intercontinental title or whatever. It's just like mid card title. It sounds like a mid card title WWE now. They give you it. It gives you a big pop, but at the end of the day, it's just like, we don't know what to do with you. Just here's some random matches and everything else. In fact, the only thing noticeable I watched from Moose recently was in the first Terminus event where he got himself disqualified for tossing Mike Bennett over the top rope not once but twice. There's your Impact champion, ladies and gentlemen, a complete idiot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Am I lying? Am I lying here?
No.
And then, like I said, Ring of Honor will probably, I think right now the Ring of Honor when they get that reboot and everything, it'll probably be a lot more interesting than what Impact's doing with Anthem, which is a shame because during the pandemic they seemed to be interesting for the most part. It was interesting. I watched most of that stuff. I liked it. Heck, I love the X Division Championship like Iron Man match between TJP and Josh Alexander. Good stuff there. And I'm like, man, they really could have done something. And but no, they just sit there. I don't know what it is with Impact. They never really can they wait too long for championship runs, or they're just way too early. That's why one thing I don't like about Impact Wrestling. It just seems so, it just seems like, man, they just never really get it. And like I said, when they do get it, they're fun. But when they don't get it, it's just like you wonder. It's like the guys are like, are they huffing paint backstage? Are the writers just like they just go in and just like, okay, all right, I just huffed like three cans of paint there and such, and we're ready to book the next 3 months of Impact television tapings. Let's have some crazy fun. That's that's my Impact rant, everyone.
Right. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, but like I said, this is a positive thing. Ring of Honor has hopefully it's safe for a fate like that because now they have at least they have it's under AEW, Tony Khan and everything. But I do wonder though, because there were other people getting for that content. I just wonder. There's probably a universe that AEW and RWE don't have it. It's like under, say, for example, like Disney Plus actually just buys like crap. We need something. Quick, get the wrestling thing is hot. Buy Ring of Honor and just be everyone just take. That would have been hilarious if Disney actually just said, "Okay, we're just gonna buy Ring of Honor," even though they showed there was a WWE. They showed a pay per view in WWE in India or something, so people got all crazy for that. Like, oh, Disney's gonna buy WWE. I'm like, no, Disney ain't gonna buy WWE. All that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they might make overtures. I was surprised. I'm like, I wouldn't. They might overtures or something like that if they're really desperate for content. Heck, they might just make their own. But I, probably wonder if you think if it was not AEW or WWE, what streaming service do you think they would have bought the ROH television, all the rights and everything? Because probably thought that would maybe be like some like Paramount Plus or something like that. But what do you think?
As far as a streaming service, I honestly don't think a streaming service would have bought that library because the simple fact that it's wrestling and it's very niche, and the only company that has some type of name to that niche is WWE. Now, as far as Ring of Honor goes, as far as the niche goes, it's very, very valuable. The library is very valuable, but just because it's in a niche and it's not WWE, I don't think many people would have been attracted to that. Probably the only streaming platform I can think of probably would have been probably like Fight TV, probably. But 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 not just that though. But if it was Fight TV, I don't think they would have had enough money. Maybe IWTV, but again, with IWTV, again, you got to look at the price that Ring of Honor was asking for, or more so Sinclair was asking for, and I don't think they would have. And I don't think they would have had the money to buy that. So, but that's what I think.
Well, yeah, and then then again, that would have been very interesting. But things are falling out. You heard about the Cody Rhodes stuff, which now people are saying that he was in WWE, he was going to get the bag, then he wasn't getting the bag, and they're saying that they're just falling through. At this point, I don't know what the heck Cody is doing. At this point, I don't know where he's going to go.
There's now some teases from WrestleVotes and Sean Ross Sapp saying to keep an eye on the Madison Square Garden show tonight. And there's some people speculating Cody's going to be there, but at the same time, it was like but at the same time, it's like you said, like, well, last night, Cassidy Haynes said things have fizzled out. And then just hours earlier today, Dave Meltzer confirmed that report. But now they're kind of teasing Cody may go to the Garden tonight. And if it's not going to be Cody at the Garden tonight, then what exactly is going to be happening? I mean, like, is there supposed to be some useless title change or something, or is Brock gonna lose? I mean, like, I don't know what's gonna happen at the Garden tonight.
I know. Probably they put too much money in this Brock Lesnar champion versus champion. He ain't losing. Heck, I saw people say Cody's gonna come in and beat Lesnar. I'm like, no, they ain't wasting that match on Madison Square Garden. And not gonna waste Lesnar versus Cody in a non-televised event. I mean, that is stupid. That to me is like dumb that they were going to do that. And heck, I saw even more crazy people saying he was going to beat Roman Reigns. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, Cody is not going to go and beat Roman. They built Roman high up so bad. They are good. That is honestly, to me, the only couple people that could beat him, and they're going to be WWE guys. It's going to probably be someone like a Braun Breaker because they're really building him up. So it's probably going to have Braun Breaker beat the first one to beat Roman. I think that's probably going to happen maybe this or next year. I wouldn't be surprised that happens next WrestleMania if the Players of the Rock fail through, which I think they will, because Rock's probably like, look, I'm getting too old for this. And these Hollywood studios are like, we're not letting you do this, especially the DC stuff. He's doing Black Adam, and heck, they kind of look, we got some other stuff we planned for you. They're gonna say, no, you ain't wrestling no more. That was it, and be done with that stuff. So that I don't think that match with The Rock is gonna happen. So I think that's what it is. I think it's probably gonna be that stuff, and but Cody is. I don't think he's gonna show up. It's just like they're hyping up everything, and it's gonna be a really mediocre show. I could be wrong.
Yeah, like, but as far as Cody goes, if those talks really did fizzle out, look, if I'm Cody, I would just take the L and either go back to AEW or ask Tony Khan if he could take the reins of Ring of Honor. I mean, because, hey, if you take the reins of Ring of Honor, I mean, you're basically following your dad's footsteps by basically being a booker, and you don't have to deal with the other stuff in AEW. I mean, that's your own stuff. Ring of Honor is going to be your own brand, and you're basically going to be doing what Triple H did. I mean, so why not just take the L at this point and just come back home? I mean, because if you look at everything that's transpired, I mean, it's just the whole thing as a whole really made no
the whole
sense from the get.
Cody, they're trying. I wouldn't be surprised that they because I think Cody will be back in AEW. I think the plans and everything, the backstage stuff, really didn't. I think that Cody's whole Codyverse thing didn't really help any. I mean, they help people, but I'm like, the matches were good, were decent, but everything else, just the crowd never did not. And I say this in jest, but I think there's a bit of truth in it. I'm like, when he got that neck tattoo, when he had that stupid neck tattoo, everything turned on him. I believe that, because once he had that neck tattoo, look at the stuff, man. People started hating on him. I'm just saying that neck tattoo really ruined his entire thing, man.
I think it was going to get hate regardless, because you know how wrestling fans are. Like, like if it turns out, if you win, if you win a little bit, especially if you go over certain fan favorites, people are going to start being like, oh my god, he's Triple H. But at the same time, if y'all actually watch those matches, Cody pretty much put over way more guys in his AEW tenure than what Triple H has put over in his entire damn career. But that's another rant. I ain't gonna do that.
I get you. I know that's cool, man. That's cool. That's a word, because man, I'm like, I was actually I actually looked at some of the stuff right there. I was actually sitting back and watching the 2003 chamber match and having Goldberg run through everybody, and I'm like, Oh man, I don't know why I got so upset. And then Triple H came in with the sledgehammer and pinned him. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I didn't like this match. I was like, wow, he was injured at the time. He had a messed up groin, and I'm like, that's why he wore those terrible ring jorts he was wearing at the time. I'm like, dude, you're hurt. Take some time off, then come back. What are you doing, ruining? Why are you ruining Goldberg's little streak thing? Why you had to wait an extra month? Is that extra month really needed? Did you need that extra month, Hunter? You need that extra month. Just go away for a while. But no, he had to be in the main event multiple times, and then next year at the end of the year, he had to win the title back again. Yeah, just because he needed, because man, that world champion, he needed to be world champion. That people they really wanted him, and they wonder why Ring of Honor and Impact slash TNA got such a huge fan. That fan base went towards him. Like, why did Ring of Honor and TNA got these passionate fan bases? Just look at the Reign of Terror. I just said point to there. Point there. There it is. So honestly, maybe going back around, it was Triple H is the main cause of all of this. So we should be thanking him then. Because if we didn't have that terrible Reign of Terror, we wouldn't have the passionate fan base for Ring of Honor or TNA, and then wouldn't have AEW. So there you go. That's my crazy way of coping and everything else.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But before I do end this great podcast and such, I just wanted to say this, that I am happy Ring of Honor got this new lease on life. I'm hopeful that this will probably be a new direction for them. I hope it's going to be good. I hope that talent actually becomes builds up and grows and everything like that, and they could be just switched back and forth from AEW to Ring of Honor. And who knows, we might actually see a big cross pay-per-view, something like that, maybe next 2 or 3 years and something like that. Somewhere down the line, ROH versus Ring of Honor versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it doesn't have Enzo and Cass coming in and having Bullet Ray come out and just ruining the whole tag team feel. Maybe that won't happen. That won't happen. So that could be fun. So that's my thing.
Right, I feel you. Like I'm pretty much on the same boat with you. I'm pretty happy Ring of Honor got bought out by Tony Khan. I'm happy that the tape library is not in the hands of Vince McMahon, because that would have been very, very bad for everybody involved. And like it's gonna be quite the ride for the rest of the year to see how they're gonna do this whole thing. If I can make a prediction, I am going to predict that Ring of Honor will be the NXT 1.5 that a lot of people has been missing. Now, how that's going to happen, I don't know, whether it's that through television or through just having just great specials / I guess you would say pay-per-views as those takeovers, but that's my prediction though. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, anyway, man, thanks for joining me. Thanks to everyone who's watching and liking and all this type of stuff. Thanks again for sitting back and watching this two old school IWC YouTubers talk about one of the biggest biggest things that happen in pro wrestling, man. Thanks very much for joining me, LV, and thanks for everyone's watching and everything else. So thanks again, everyone. All right, it's Dukect here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Later.
Peace.